Don't quit when you want to, quit when you have to. Hi, my name is Mark Gibson and welcome back to 1 Million Cats. So this is a question that comes up over and over again, isn't it? Okay, and you're told by people smarter than me, never quit, never quit, never quit. Winston Churchill even said, never quit. But that's not the best advice. There are times when you have to quit. In fact, sometimes it's a wise thing to quit. Maybe the option, the goal that you are pursuing is no longer achieving what you wanted it to achieve, and it would be a smart, prudent thing to switch and go after some other goal. But when to make that decision, when not to make that decision? Well, this has proven to be some of the best advice that I've come across. In other words, quit not when you feel like it, not when you want to, quit when you have to. In other words, don't let your feelings and your emotions make the decision of when to quit. Just break it down logically. Do I have to quit right now? Is this the logical, reasonable thing to do? And if you can differentiate your feelings from what's logical and what makes sense, then the decision to quit or not to quit becomes a lot more clear. Now, I stumbled across this kind of wisdom when I first got into doing ultra marathons. You know, these races, that's any race that goes beyond 26.2 miles. The longest ultra marathon I've done was the Florida Keys 100. I started up in Key Largo and ran 100 miles down the Florida Keys to Key West, straight through. It took me about 29 hours. Now I knew this was going to be tough. So the day before, sitting in the hotel, I came up with a plan to get me to the finish line. Now, it wasn't a success plan, it was a quitting plan. In other words, I made a list of all the reasons I would accept for quitting. If I was a danger to other road users, I was sort of hallucinating and wandering across the road and getting into traffic, I would quit. If I injured myself so badly that pushing forward could do permanent damage, I would quit. If I was being flown to Miami in a helicopter, I'd quit. If the race director pulled me out of the race, I'd respect him and I'd quit. In other words, I didn't go into this race with a I'm not going to quit attitude. I went into the race with the attitude of I'll quit if I have to. But I wasn't going to quit because I wanted to. Because I knew that somewhere around mile 50, mile 60, I would definitely want to quit. Everybody does. It's miserable out there. But I wasn't going to allow the emotional me 60 miles into the race to make that decision. I let the rational me the day before tell the emotional me when it was okay to quit. I came up with a quitting plan. You see, there's a quote in the world of ultra running saying that the race doesn't start until you want to stop. In other words, the only reason that we do these races to see if we can run 100 miles in one day is to get to that point in the race where every muscle and fiber of your body is screaming out to you to just quit and give up. And when you get to that point in the race, that's what you signed up your money for. That's where you paid up the money, that's where you sent in the check, to see what would happen when you got to that point when you want to quit, but don't really need to. And in the world of ultra running, if you can get through that quitting point and just keep pushing forward, you'll find, and this is another saying that comes up in the ultra world, that it doesn't always get worse. When things get really bad, your mind starts to think, well, this is just a downward spiral. It's going to continue to get worse from here on. And oftentimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just stays bad. Sometimes it actually gets better. And that happened to me quite a bit running down the Florida Keys. I had good moments and low times and high times and low times until I finally got down to Key West 100 miles later. So the next time you catch yourself in a position where you're saying to yourself, man, I just want to quit, don't. Only quit when you have to. Only quit when it makes the most logical, reasonable sense. When pursuing this goal is no longer achieving the things that you want from it, and it would be a time to put it aside and move forward to the next challenge instead. So there you have it. Don't quit because you want to, quit because you have to. Hey, I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, then we'll see you back here next week for another video. And in the meantime, don't forget, go do something big.